More than 4 million IP addresses, mostly belonging to South African organizations, have been stolen over the past decade, and fewer than half of them have been recovered and returned to their rightful owners. What would IP thieves do with such a haste? Correspondent Travis Andrews has the answer.
It's been called the Great African IP Address Heist that has claimed some of South Africa's biggest companies as its victims. More than 4 million IP addresses have been stolen from the African Network Information Center, which is responsible for managing and allocating IP addresses on the continent. Most of the addresses stolen came from South Africa and included very valuable legacy addresses.
These are IP addresses that are quite valuable, that were assigned to companies in the very early days of the internet, and they don't attract annual membership fees or any other kind of renewal fees from Afrinic, which makes them quite valuable for companies who would like large amounts of IP addresses and not have to be beholden to anybody for those IP addresses.
Companies that were affected include Nedbank, Nampak and retail giant Woolworths, who had 3 IP blocks equating to 200,000 individual addresses stolen. Even the City of Cape Town's Directorate of Information Services was affected, as well as the Free State Department of Education, which lost addresses worth over $1.3 million.
It is roughly 82 million US dollars. The extent of this crime, and that's assuming an IP address is worth roughly 20 US dollars each. That was a conservative estimate that I've received from people inside the industry. And these IP addresses, this is what they go for on the open market, on the reseller market. This is not like some necessarily shady market.
Even though the theft of IP addresses affected so many companies and organizations, experts say most were not even aware that the actual fraud even took place. While more than 1.5 million IP addresses have already been reclaimed, most others are still pending until the rightful owners have been identified. The sheer scale of this fraud, though, has underlined the enormous negative impact cybercrimes are having on South African companies.